From unexplained human behavior to malfunctioning clones, secret tech to robots that don't play nice. These aren't just some random glitches in the system.
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
These moments will make you stop, stare, and question the world around you. So stay tuned.
I'm a little worried about the AI stuff. It's quite a dangerous technology.
Tech company Nubbin just launched a device that lets users literally choose the reality they want to live in. Their slogan says it all. Reality is boring, so create your own. With just one tap, you could escape real-life struggles and jump into a world you control where nothing hurts and everything bends to your wishes. But here's the catch. Is this really innovation or the start of something darker? If we stop facing pain, failure, or challenges, do we stop growing? A world where everyone escapes sounds tempting. But if reality becomes optional, what happens to humanity? Neuralink. Nolan Darbaugh became the first human to receive a brain chip. For those of you who don't know, it is a tiny device that reads brain signals and turns them into action. Since Nolan was paralyzed from his shoulders, these wired would help his mind take command and send them straight to a computer. Watch how he played strategy games, sent texts, and used the internet, all without moving a muscle. For people like Nolan, this chip is like a door opening towards the world.
Can you describe for us what you have to do to send, for example, a text? Like, how do you, in your brain, what do you actually have to do?
Yeah, so the first thing that they wanted to do was get cursor control. So that means I can use a computer just as anyone else can with a cursor, and I can use the cursor to text on that. I have a dictation that I can use the text on that to send messages.
Robot human. The future of AI is advancing too fast, some might say. Elon Musk warned that AI could be even more dangerous than nukes.
I'm a little worried about the AI stuff. I don't know, I think we should need some kind of like regulatory authority or something that's overseeing AI development and just making sure that it's operating within the public interest. And, you know, it's quite a dangerous technology.
And now, it seems we're seeing why. Scientists have created a robot and covered it completely with human-like skin and a mask. At first glance, you might not even realize it's not a real person. Its body, its hair, even its dress style are all human. It's so lifelike, it's almost impossible to tell it apart from an actual human. This is something truly crazy. What happens when we can no longer trust what we see, or even the people we meet? AI might be our next biggest challenge. Robot went crazy. In China, a high-tech Unitree H1 humanoid robot shocked everyone during a live test. Priced at $90,000 and built to work safely around humans, the robot suddenly malfunctioned, making aggressive moves that nearly injured 2 factory workers. The cause? A small coding error, but the outcome could have been worse. This wasn't the first scare. Earlier this year, another Unitree robot at a public festival in Tianjin suddenly lunged toward the crowd, triggering chaos before security stepped in. Both incidents are now causing global concerns. As robots get smarter and more lifelike, a single glitch could become a serious threat. Are we really ready to live side by side with machines? Almost human. After mastering robot manufacturing, a company took the next step. They made their robots look completely human. From appearance to hairstyle, from clothes to expressions, everything was designed to blend in. Then, they were brought out into public spaces. And to be honest, no one could tell the difference. They looked exactly like us. Only one thing gave them away the way they walked, a slightly off rhythm, just enough to raise questions. But what if they fix that next? What if soon their walk becomes perfect too? Then how will we know who's real and who's not? Arya the robot.
She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day. So maybe we can have her introduce herself and say something.
Hello. I'm Arya, the flagship female companion robot of Realbotics.
Artificial intelligence has changed nearly everything around us, but one company, Realbotics, has taken it far beyond screens and voices. They've created robots that don't just act human, they look human too. From their skin and hair to eye movements and expressions, these humanoid bots are made to blend into everyday life. Recently, the company brought these robots into public spaces. Most people didn't even notice. Their faces, posture, and clothing were all incredibly realistic. The future isn't coming, it's already here.
That's a great area, but we think there's a much bigger area in having social robots. So for example, at a convention like this, we can draw a crowd very easily. Arya's been a little bit of a rock star here.
Biden glitch. Back in 2020, during a major international event packed with world leaders and media, Joe Biden acted strange. While serious discussions were underway, he suddenly clapped mid-conversation without any clear reason and in the most awkward way possible. Not a full clap. Not even a gesture that made sense. People watching were puzzled. Was it a glitch? A moment of confusion? Or was it something deeper, like a malfunction from a clone or controlled version of Biden? If that's true, just imagine the scale of power behind such a move. A clone at a global event? That's not a slip. It's a signal of something sinister.
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
Strange Elon Musk.
We find our government's a little nasty on occasion. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, at times. Hello, President Trump.
Government's a little bit nasty.
Before the famous clash between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the two met for a private discussion. While Elon was present, his neck movements, strange eye shifts, and overall unusual behavior raised suspicions that the person sitting across from Trump might not have been the real Elon Musk. His actions seemed too bizarre and robotic, leading many to question, was this a clone of Elon Musk? Despite how convincing the appearance was, nobody at the time noticed the difference, and the mystery surrounding that meeting remains unresolved.
We have here a very special, that I give to very special people. I give it to Elon as a presentation from our country. Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Reptilian Revealed. During a live interview on a local news channel in Peru, a woman was casually discussing a topic, but things took an unexpected turn. As the interview progressed, her neck began to change in a very strange way. It appeared to stretch and shift on both sides, resembling the features of a reptilian. While she seemed unaware of the transformation, the difference was too clear to ignore. This bizarre moment raised questions. How many reptilians might be living among us, unnoticed, unless they expose themselves like this? Charged to fly. This is the story of Thomas Townsend Brown-built capacitors, but when he charged them, they moved. This became known as the Biefeld-Brown effect. Brown said it wasn't just air or ions, it was a force that bent gravity. His invention, the gravitator, used high voltage to lift and move craft without wings or rotors. In demos, his saucer-like models hovered and spun, drawing eyes and questions. To Brown, it was proof of anti-gravity. To others, just misunderstood physics. Some say his work was buried or taken, but the device he built still sparks one big question. What if he was right? Find the difference.
Well, that's exactly right, Seth. I am his clone. But while physically we are exactly the same, there are some slight differences personality-wise.
Yes, for example, this Nick is calm and stealthy, like a ninja warrior.
We all know Nicolas Cage, the wild energy, the iconic roles, the unforgettable voice. But one Saturday night, things got a little too weird. During a live appearance on SNL, Cage walked out, but so did his identical double. Same face, same voice, same intense stare. For a moment, the audience couldn't tell who was real. Sure, it was played as a comedy sketch, but what if they were both real? Or worse, neither.
My dream as an actor is to appear in every film ever released. However, until now, I've only been able to muster a measly 90%. But fortunately, today, science has prevailed. And I'm proud to announce that my cloning experiment has finally come to fruition.
Pope's final mystery. Pope Francis has passed away, but in his final days, something disturbing happened that's now troubling people's minds. During the ceremony, as he was being wheeled away, something strange occurred. As he raised his hand to wave at the crowd, the camera captured a third hand. Yeah, you heard that right. People who saw the video called it the God's hand, saying that it was proof Pope Francis had a connection with things that are eternal. Malfunctioning Clone. Polina Gagarina, the popular Russian singer, was attending a public event a few years ago. Nothing out of the ordinary, until the closing moments of the show. That's when something strange happened. Her facial expressions started shifting rapidly, and her eyes began blinking unnaturally fast, almost like a system glitch. It was subtle, and most people at the venue didn't react, but the footage later caught everyone's attention. Was it just tiredness, or a robotic malfunction? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Unreal president. We've often seen Donald Trump act a bit odd in public, with strange handshakes, unusual movements, and behavior that doesn't quite match what you'd expect. But now there might be a possible reason behind it. Could it be that the Trump we're seeing at times isn't the real one, but instead a cloned robot? Have a look. With the same body shape, hairstyle, and facial features, this Trump looks exactly like him. It's a theory that could explain his weird moments. Maybe, just maybe, the Trump we see in those bizarre situations isn't the real deal, but a robot version doing the odd things. Berlin Blur. During a seemingly normal day in Berlin, a security camera captured something that left viewers stunned. On July 2nd, 2022, an unknown translucent entity sped across a street at hypersonic speed. The footage showed a strange motion trail behind it, and it even casted a shadow on the ground, proving that physical presence. To clear all the remaining doubts, let me zoom the footage for you guys. Here, watch how eerily glowing and unrealistic this entity looks. And if not extraterrestrial, what else could it be? Secret tech. A mysterious video recently surfaced online from an unknown source, and it has left viewers both stunned and curious. In the clip, an aged scientist is seen working with a metallic plate. As he carefully slides a disc-like object across it, something extraordinary happens. A portal suddenly opens up right inside the room, revealing a wood scene on the other side. Now, the internet is divided. Some believe this is secret technology that's about to go public, while others think it was never meant to be seen, and somehow it got leaked. Hover disk.
I'm here to discuss the so-called flying saucer. We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
What you're watching is an Avro car, a flying saucer made in Canada during the Cold War. At its center sat a turbine engine, blasting air through the rim of the disc. That air created lift, which helped it to float on a cushion, rise straight up, and glide side to side. Even though the design was bold, the tech struggled. It wobbled, overheated, and couldn't fly high, but the innovative design helped it make it to the history books. Solo jet. In the 1980s, a small flying machine caught the attention of the US Army. It was called the Williams X Jet, a one-man aircraft that could hover, turn, and fly in any direction. The idea was simple: a personal flyer for soldiers on the battlefield. It stayed in the air for 45 minutes and reached speeds up to 60 miles per hour. But in the end, it lost to helicopters and drones as it was too short on range, too hard to fly. Still, it was a step toward the future of Flight 1 that hovered, even if it didn't land. Under the skin. They say the future is in our hands, but at one company in Belgium, it's quite literally under the skin. A group of employees agreed to something most people wouldn't even consider. They inserted a tiny chip in their hand. With it, they can unlock doors, log into computers, even use office printers, all without needing a card, key, or password. It's fast, it's easy, it feels like convenience. But when access, identity, and movement are controlled by something inside your body, you have to ask, how much control are you really giving away? Cloudbuster. Wilhelm Reich thought the sky was full of energy, organe energy. To him, it wasn't just for healing, it could change the weather. So he built the Cloudbuster, metal tubes, water tanks, and a theory that this energy could be pulled and aimed. He claimed it worked especially on a blueberry farm in Maine, where he said the machine ended a drought, but critics and the US government called it dangerous nonsense. The FDA cracked down hard, banned his work, and seized his materials. And sadly, his creation could never made it to the outside world. Thief catcher. A UK expert once designed something that could have changed that. At first glance, it looked like an umbrella, but once activated and pointed towards the person you want to catch, it would launch a net and traps the target on the spot. It was smart, quick, and didn't need any violence. The reason why still many think it would have helped the law enforcement officers? Lost current. In a small lab in Utah, T. Henry Moray built something strange, a device he said could draw endless energy from the air itself. He demonstrated it to others. Lights flickered on, motors whirred, radios came to life. Yet no one could explain how it worked, and Moray refused to reveal the full design. He feared his work would be stolen. But soon after, his lab was raided, and some useful tool went missing, which according to Henry was the work of people in power. A forgotten machine, built on energy we still don't understand. Water to power. Stanley Meyer's water fuel cell wasn't ordinary electrolysis. He said it used a special frequency to break water into gas with barely any power. He built a buggy that ran entirely on water. It caught attention fast. News stations called it a dream come true. But scientists challenged it, saying it didn't follow known laws. After his sudden demise in the late 90s, no one has ever been able to rebuild this device, but the idea of fuel from water still hasn't gone away. Controlled speech. The video shows a US senator addressing the media, and behind her sat a young woman, seemingly just another person in the room. But she wasn't just sitting there. It looked like the lady back there was working as the brains of the senator, who literally controlled every word she said. Don't believe me? See for yourself.
I wanted to introduce into the record page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow.
Whenever she moved her lips, the senator repeated exactly the same words. It was like she was in full control. Could this be a proof of the famous conspiracies that our leaders don't speak their own words anymore? Let me know, what do you think? Other LeBron. This viral shot shows the close-up of LeBron, who didn't know he is about to grab insane amount of attention for all the wrong reasons. During a game, after scoring, LeBron was walking off celebrating like usual when camera recorded a person who looked exactly like LeBron. People called him the doppelganger. In other words, he looked like the ghostly double of the famous player. But the strange things, that he was never seen again. Hidden twin. Back in the 90s, there was a TV show that was never aired publicly. What made it strange wasn't just the show, it was who appeared on it. Michael Jackson was the guest, but standing beside him, backstage and laughing with the crew, was someone who looked exactly like him. From head to toe, same face, same voice, same body. But years later, after Michael's passing, one question arises. If that was truly his twin, then where did he go? And more importantly, are we sure the one who died was Michael Jackson himself? Or was it the twin, disappearing quietly while the world mourned the wrong man? Clone crowd. In this short but bizarre clip, 3 different individuals are seen in a public place, but not just once. Each of them had 4 identical copies, all moving around like nothing was unusual. Some believe this is proof of advanced cloning, a technology that has already entered public life but is being kept secret. Others argue it might just be a coincidence or an illusion. But 3 different people, each having exactly 4 identical versions? That's no coincidence. That's a warning, and no one knows who's behind it. Jaylen Rose mystery.
Because of this video of you getting your microphone adjusted, in which you did not move. Now, prove to me that you are not a robot.
Back in 2018, Jaylen Rose, the former NBA player and sports analyst, was preparing for a program, but something seemed off. He appeared unusually still, hardly blinking, with no smile or change in expression, almost like a robot. During an interview, when asked about his odd behavior, Jaylen quickly denied the rumors, claiming that it was simply him being himself, and there was nothing unusual. However, despite his explanation, it's hard to ignore how unnatural his demeanor seemed, leaving many to question if there's more to it.
However, you have still not proven to me that you are not a robot. You have done nothing during this conversation to prove that you're not a robot. I'll be back with my robot co-host tomorrow on Jaylen and Jacoby.
All natural, all natural.
Mark Zuckerberg. In a recent international delegation meeting, a bizarre moment involving Mark Zuckerberg has reignited the debate over elite clones. During the session, Zuckerberg lifted a glass of water, brought it to his face, and pretended to take a sip, but he didn't actually drink it. At first glance, it may seem normal, but to many viewers, this detail felt strange, especially considering the long-standing internet theory that robots or clones can't drink water. If that wasn't the real Mark, then who or what was sitting at that table? Coincidence or silent confirmation of clone tech among the powerful? Hidden truth. During a routine press briefing, something unusual caught the eyes of those watching. People noticed how the female U.S. Senator's expressions, smile, even the way she was observing and listening, everything was off. If you were to match this with any known phenomena, it would almost feel like the classic reptilian traits described in conspiracy theories. And even if that's not the case, her behavior was quite odd. Royal clone. We all love the fairy tale marriage of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, but recently, during a public appearance, something didn't feel right. The couple didn't act quite human. Her expressions were off. Her movements were a little too robotic. It left people asking, was that really the actual couple? And if it wasn't, then where is the real one? Maybe this is one of those mysteries that will never be solved. Bill Clinton. Recently, a strange clip began circulating on social media, uploaded from an unknown source. It shows what appears to be a clone of President Bill Clinton. Yes, a clone being prepared for what looks like a media appearance. Watch closely. He sits in a fixed pose, barely blinking and completely still, while makeup is applied. This has fueled conspiracy theories suggesting that forces more powerful than humans might be controlling the world's most influential figures. If that's the case, and considering the video appears to be quite old, should we prepare for even more unsettling revelations in the future? Hidden identity. On social media, several users have shocked everyone by revealing their real facial identities. Wearing hyper-realistic masks, they were faking their identities. This trend has left everyone confused and concerned. People argue that if face masks can look this real, how will we ever know who someone really is? What happens when identity itself becomes a disguise? Tunnel mystery. Not a person, not a tiny object, but this time it was a huge vehicle that just appeared out of nowhere. It happened in Stuttgart, Germany, near the lower Hirschstacke tunnel, where there is usually low traffic at night. And not only that, when the authorities investigated the entire situation, they revealed the identity of the mysterious vehicle. It was believed to be the cargo truck that went missing on Autobahn 81 just a week earlier. So, did the truck just had a visit to the other dimension, or something else? Let me know in the comments below. Breathing tunnel.
It's as if the tunnel has come alive and it's breathing.
During a routine government construction project underground, workers stumbled upon something no one was prepared for. Inside what looked like a normal tunnel, the walls began to pulse, literally breathing, while clouds of strange energy appeared and vanished in front of their eyes. One worker, Juan Antonio Sanchez, described the scene as terrifying, unsure if the tunnel was collapsing or if something far stranger was unfolding. Scientists who reviewed it noticed rhythmic, controlled pulsations, almost like something intelligent was behind it. Some believe this could be a wormhole or even a stargate forming right beneath our feet.
There's a very regular pulsation, so it seems like something must be controlling.
Teleportation. During a routine live report on a local TV channel, everything seemed perfectly normal until a man suddenly appeared. It looked as if he had teleported right into the frame. There was no one there a second earlier, and then boom, he was just standing there casually. What's even stranger, he didn't act shocked. He simply walked ahead into a nearby store like nothing had happened. No one around noticed. Who was this man, and how did he appear out of thin air? Fell from sky. This random footage, though recorded years before, is recently circulating the internet. The owner of the footage claims he never knew that his CCTV captured the unbelievable case of teleportation. The online spectators believe that this guy came from the future. And if you ask me, I'd say this is one of the most convincing explanation of the weird incident the camera just captured. Mysterious woman. In a small town in Romania, a local man was reviewing CCTV footage from outside his home. Everything looked normal until something truly shocking appeared. Late at night, a woman was casually walking down the road, but as a speeding bike passed by her, something strange happened. Her body started fading away. Only her head remained visible, as if the rest of her had turned invisible. She kept walking, calmly, almost like she didn't even know it had happened. Was she a supernatural being, or something else? The man had no answers, but one thing was certain. What he saw left him deeply unsettled. Clone rap. Rapper Tom MacDonald shook the internet with his song Cloned Rappers, where he didn't just drop bars, he dropped theories. In the track, he boldly suggests that powerful figures in the music industry, and maybe beyond, have been cloned by hidden organizations. According to him, when someone becomes too influential or rebellious, they're replaced with a look-alike clone under full control. Whether it's music icons or public leaders, the idea is wild. But he wants you to think twice. Invisible suit. China has just revealed a game-changing invention, a military invisibility suit that's got the US worried. This suit doesn't just blend in, it makes soldiers almost completely invisible to the human eye and detection systems. By bending light around them, the wearer becomes virtually unseen. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real. This new tech could give China a huge advantage in future battles. While it's still in the works, the suit has everyone talking about how it could change the way wars are fought and what comes next in military tech. Clone terror. The dark web is a place where few dare to explore, but these boys dug deep and made a strange order of a clone. When the clone actually arrived, they were shocked. This wasn't a simple look-alike. The clone was weird, acting strange from the start. It would spit ink from its mouth, crawl beneath the bed, and sometimes even walk upside down. Things took a turn when the clone ventured into the real one's room. The cloned figure suddenly attacked. Luckily, the friend heard the noise and rushed to help, saving their friend from what seemed like a true horror. Dark web is truly scary, and staying as far away from it as possible is probably the safest choice. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. A major international robotics company has recently developed robots that look completely human, looking and behaving completely opposite to the usual robots we are used to see. These new robots have perfect human-like movement, expressions, and even body language. The most shocking detail? There's a device near their ear, which seems to help them act even more naturally. When they were brought out in public for testing, everyone was stunned, yet it disturbed some people who believe that the shocking advancement in technology is a threat to human race. What's your take on this? Let me know in the comments below.